Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. And today I'm going to talk about VR movement. So you can take a look of previously that I recorded in the VR headset. So you can see that by dragging a player controller inside, you can pretty much move around. Even though you couldn't see your hand or controller, you can still move around. You create a scene, right? And then you start moving around inside the scene. So this is pretty much using just drag and drop one player controller. It's a prefab. And the second one I want to share with you is that I create a simple level, a level design, and then I start moving around. Right, you can pretty much move around. Okay, the third one is, yeah, you have your hands. Okay, so yeah, and basically you can use controller to control your hand as well. So yeah, so you can move around, right? And there's some simple animations on the hand. Okay, so this is something that we are going to cover. So if you got the file, a GitHub file, you can open movement one, because actually I create a bunch of the scenes in movement one, and setup, right? If you go to setup, it's pretty much the kind of like some simple stuff you can kind of play around. But I would say that movement one is that, yeah, I kind of create a level, and then later on will be some simple interaction, and then you can see my environment. I create the environment as a prefab. So if you get the file, you can pretty much drag and drop the environment into the space, and it will spawn immediately. So yeah, so it's very convenient. So let me delete this. Okay, so yeah, I also made in the visual components also a prefab, for example, like coins, right? I know it takes time to make, but remember to put collider, right? And cube, yeah. Cube, the reason why we have a rigid body is because we want to have some basic interactions. So you can do that. And also, yeah, I also kind of like do some simple components, make it prefab. Okay, so that's the environment. I made a prefab. And also, this is something that we are going to talk about today. It's called OVR Player Controller. If you remember last time we download, right? You go to SS Store and you search Oculus integration, right? Oculus integration plugin. And once you download the plugin, you will get the entire plugin folder, right? And then once you get the folder, you can get a lot of sample scenes. I think sample scenes is sample scenes. You can get some sample scenes somewhere. Yeah, you probably need to dive in, but I would say that you will get a lot of like yeah, some simple scenes. Yeah, once you find the sample scenes, then you can play around with it. Let me see whether I can sample framework. Okay, yeah, I mean there are a lot of stuff, so you probably need to kind of dive into and then take a look. Yeah, kind of like some, if you see like, oh, this scene is mine, and if you kind of dive into the sample framework core, yeah, let's see, where are those? Yeah, you can see some different stuff here. Yeah, sample scenes. Yeah, I mean today, once you download it, we are going to get not exactly the sample scene, but we are going to put a OVR player controller. Okay, so Okay, so this OVR player controller, if you kind of put inside, you're seeing, okay, let me close those. Usually it's good to just completely unpack first, because you might, change something and it's annoying to, kind of like trying to unpack later. So you later on we are going to insert custom hands kind of under the, it's not really under, but next to the left controller anchor. So if you see this OVR player controller, this entire prefab, it contains OVR camera rig. So OVR camera rig, it has, you see, like if you wanna see it, it's a player controller, right? So this is a player controller. This camera, right? This camera usually we place at the eye level, right? So you go here and change this to eye level, and then put this to controller and hands. Yeah, because sometimes if you put only hands or only controller, right, and sometimes you will limit it to one choice. But if that is what you intend, then you can just put the one, just one choice. But this time I put two. And hand tracking frequency, I kind of put it high. You can put max or low, but I kind of want to, track faster. Then you see, like, you have left eye, center, right? Right. Because, left means that your left eye, right eye, and center means like between two of your eyes. Yeah. And then you can see like left hand anchor and right hand anchor. Inside that, they have like controller anchor, right? So those two are kind of like the position which kind of, kind of like the transform for your controller. So what we do is that, to be honest with you, if you drop this, right, and create a scene, for example, like you create a plane and maybe make it 10-10. And probably drop a material inside, right? Let's say maybe a gray. Okay. So this already allows you to, and maybe drop some prefabs. Drop some prefabs. Yeah. So this already allows you to start walking around, right? So this, if you export it, for example, like this one, right? And you have OVR controller. Yeah, usually I think this one, you might want to make it plane a little lower, or you can put the player controller a little higher. Yeah, let's make it a little higher, something like this. Okay, so this already allows you to kind of move around the scene without seeing your hands. You won't see any hands because this is, under the hands, there's nothing. It's just transformation, so there's nothing. So you will be moving around the space by using your controller, right, by your joystick, but you couldn't see your hands. So it will look more like this, right? When you create a level and you drop a OVR player controller, it allows you to move around, but you couldn't see your hands, you couldn't see yourself. It just, move around the space. So this is without hands. Ooh. Okay, cool. So this is this one, right? And then if you want to add hands, then remember to put custom hand, custom hand. Yeah, custom hand left. Remember to put here under it. and custom hand, right? Okay, so if you go here, right, you see here, and you can see there are a bunch of kind of like the, I would say the animation, and then this one capsule and the grip transform, and you can see those, right? Okay, so those and this, yeah, you can kind of take a look and break it down and see and learn some stuff, right? So yeah, okay, so that's kind of go back. Okay, so if you go here, right, and you can see parent transform. Parent is this one, right? This is the anchor for your hand, the kind of like a precision for your hand, and then it will keep tracking. And then this one is the mesh, right? Animation with the mesh, or the model of it. So you kind of want this mesh follow this parent, right? And then player controller, you drag this here. Okay, so and left touch, right, and right, and put this to here, and player controller this to here. Yeah, and you are ready to go. So once you finish this, you can pretty much do something more like this. First, you can see your hand, right? And then you can move around things using your joystick. Yeah, and you might be interested in, hey, how can you create a level? Okay, so I want to start all over again and show you how to create a level. Now I just show you how to do a basic OVR player controller. All you need to do is it's pretty much from Oculus integration. Okay, so it's from Oculus integration plugin, and then if you download it, import it, you should have the Oculus. You see Oculus, the entire folder, right? Oculus integration. Go to Unity SS Store and download the plugin. And then once you have plugin, you can just find OVR player controller, yeah, and drag it. Pretty much once you drag in, it's already, I would say, 90% done. Everything is there, right? And remember, you don't really want to have two because your headset might be confused, right? So you might need to, uncheck it so you disable it. So you click this and you kind of drag it a little up because you mentioned this is your eyes. The camera rig is your eyes. So yeah, so for this, remember to put your left hand and right hand because right now it's just empty, right? So custom hand left, right? All you need to do is just, slide in, that's it. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty easy, right? And pretty much it's done. Okay, now I want to kind of, every time my previous tutorials, I usually just drag and drop the prefab that I create for levels, but I haven't really demo how to create a level. So yeah, today I will show you how to create a demo. Start from scratch. I mean, I know that start from scratch is something that really helps people to, to understand the entire process. Ooh. New scene. Okay, new scene. Maybe I can do movement. Level 1 demo. Yeah, okay. So let's move to this one. Okay, this is the new scene I just create. It's a little long, but I want to share with you how to start from scratch, designing the entire, I would say start from level to the OVR controller and to insert the hands. Yeah, okay, so first you probably need to get rid of the main camera. That's first. because in the OVR player controller, pretty much you've already has the camera, so you don't need an extra camera. Okay, so next one, you might want to create a plane. Yeah, plane. I mean, you can kind of do something that you think it's fit, right? Okay, then you can create different materials and with different colors. And how to change the color, you go here, right? And you can change different colors, right? Okay, so probably I would say maybe a little grayish. Okay, yeah, so this is the plan. And then what I like to do is I create an empty, and I usually set environment, and I put everything under the empty. Why? Because, you know, I can just uncheck this and nothing will show. So it's kind of a folder thing. So plane, probably I will change to floor. Yeah, so this is kind of a simple ground, right? And it already has mesh collider. If you want to have performance issue, or if you want to improve your performance, you probably want to switch this to box collider. But since our game is just super simple, super easy, so I don't really mind. Another one I would create is like a wall. I usually create just like, you know, the empty stuff, right? And put everything under it as a folder, or this is like parent. So when I kind of close it, everything under it will close. So I just wanna kind of separate my assets. So if you go here and cube, right? In cube, maybe I can change to wall, right? So walls, okay, and put under wall. So this is the parent, this is the child, the actual stuff. Okay, so the wall, if I press F, I can pretty much see this little cube, right? But I would say how I do this is that I kind of like make what's this, 10, right? Probably 83, 100. Oh yeah, so 100 pretty much is like something like this. Okay, so this is kind of my wall. It's kind of like I would say the level. Okay, so you kind of want to make it more, you know, more accurate. So let's say position maybe 50, right? You want to make sure everything looks just right. Okay, so maybe like this, and I usually like to put to 2D mode. Oh no, not 2D mode, sorry. Okay, so probably like something like this. So yeah, so yeah, I like to like press option, and then you can start, you know, creating some levels. You can make it a little under, upper. Yeah, I mean, it's all kind of up to you that, and later on you can dive in and do the dismal stuff, or make it looks very, very refined, nice. Like maybe each, you know, segment, it's the same, you know, same distance, so you won't look too messy. But I just want to quickly show you how I create a level. And creating a level, I mean, unless you are a 3D modeler, you can create a lot of customized 3D scenery. Usually we go to, you know, TurboSquid or Sketchfab to get your 3D model, or, you know, you can hire somebody to do it for you. But now, you know, since I'm not like professional 3D modeler, then what I would do is just to create all those stuff. Yeah, and then you can go here. It's just a demo that shows you how I do things. I mean, usually I make it a prefab first, but it's fine. Yeah, you can kind of like do this. Ew. Okay. 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 Yeah. So maybe something like this, right? And then later on, you probably can create some. Yeah, the good things about this is that you can pretty much, because this as for a wall is probably too short, right? So you probably want to increase the Y level, right? Y level. So make it grow a little bit up, right? So you kind of want to do this. So you see like a level shows up, right? And in Unity, if you see 1, it means 1 meter. So 9, around 10 meter is kind of really tall wall. And imagine your, for example, like we want to put an OVR player controller. Okay, let's just slot in. And once you slot in, remember to unpack completely first, so you won't, you know. Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of like the wall. And you can definitely put some colors. Oh, you. Okay. Yeah. What I would do is I click this one and click Shift. Yeah, and ooh, maybe just put here. Ooh. Okay. Doesn't seem okay. Yeah, great. Okay, you probably need to drop to the inspector. Okay, so you got the entire wall being, yeah, I think this is great. And then you can pretty much do this, or you can do some, simple, I would say, because it's pretty much under. Okay, so wall I like to put under the environment. So when I hide this, right, it only shows environment. I can uncheck environment and everything will be gone. So what I will do is I will add maybe, monsters. Ooh, okay, monsters should be under here. I will change the name to monsters. I mean, those are kind of just a placeholder. Then you can change to anything you want. This I use, game object, which is empty game object. And then I go to 3D object and put a sphere. And then the sphere, I can make it, 5x5. I don't know, a giant monster. Something like this, right? And then, yeah, you can definitely, make it move, or using AI and chasing after the player, which is very scary. But you can do that, or some zombie games. Okay, yeah, you can put something like this, right? And then, yeah. Okay, so once you put this, you can, I don't know, put, drag this to here, and then, yeah, and you can see this. If this can be more manipulated by the physics, you can put rigid body. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, it's for later, but you can definitely create some interactions for those, right? And then you see you have environment, you have a OVR player controller, right? So pretty much if you put all those, right, you will move around the scene without seeing your hands, but you can move around the scene. Now, let's do whatever and allows you to see your hands. Okay, so you go to custom hand left. Okay, remember to put here, custom hand right, put here. So go to left, right, and you will see this grabbable. Grabbable is for grab. Right now we are not using it, but later on, you know, if you want to grab something, OVR grabbable, you need to attach to your hand, right? Okay, parent, which is parent. Yeah, okay, and then this parent, and then OVR player controller, and then for this one, OVR player controller, yes. Okay, yeah, and you need to go back to see the camera, right? Eye level, and then controller and hands, yes, and go back to here. Yeah, need to kind of check back and forth and see whether everything looks good or not. Quest, right? So yeah, everything seems pretty decent right now. Okay, so that's kind of build it and test it out. Remember to uncheck it and open the scene, right? Then build it out. Yeah, and it takes time, but I would say that if you can, you know, learn how to build a level, it actually has a lot of fun because I would say a good level really change the experience. If you can make the level looks really beautiful or really cool, and then the player get inside and start exploring the world, and maybe, you know, some monsters or something, and it will definitely change the entire experience. So I would say just learn as much as you can in VR. Yeah, okay, so that's get the headset. Right now I'm testing on my headset and see how it goes. So far so good. Okay, I was able to see my hand, animate my hand, move around in the space. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so let me share with you like the pre-record one. Yeah, so pretty much this is something you will see. Yeah, you can see your hand, you can move around the space using joystick. Yeah, so yeah. So thank you so much for watching today's tutorial, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.